Okay, today's video is about PMAX campaigns and whether or not you should use PMAX for doing lead generation, or basically if you're not trying to sell products like through an e-commerce store or whatnot. The answer to this, of course, you've seen the title already. The answer is basically hell no, you should not be using PMAX campaigns for lead generation campaigns. And the short of it is because you're going to be generating a lot of bad leads by using PMAX. They're not designed, we'll just say to this point, or not yet, they're not designed to generate good quality leads for a cheap price. You can do a much better job generating leads using other campaigns that PMAX is supposed to be comprised of, the search campaigns, display campaigns, YouTube campaigns, rather than using PMAX and drinking the Google Kool-Aid here and deciding PMAX is so much better than these other campaigns. Which, by the way, Google doesn't say PMAX campaigns are better than these other standalone campaigns like search and display. They just make it seem like that because they pushed PMAX so hard over the last year or so that everybody just kind of thinks that PMAX is going to be the holy grail, one-size-fits-all solution that's going to finally propel them up to where they want to be, generating leads at a cheap cost and profitably using Google Ads or through the Google Ads platform. And so, as a general note about PMAX, PMAX doesn't do anything that I've personally seen looking at dozens of accounts different than what at least for lead generation, different than what a search campaign by itself can do, a display campaign by itself can do, a YouTube campaign by itself could do. It has no specific function or anything about it that makes it better than what those other campaigns could do by itself. It's actually far worse because PMAX, while it's easier, actually strips away all of the features of what you need to do to generate good results and on a lead generation campaign, and takes them out of the equation so you can't make money with it anymore. So, and as everything else in life, anything that's easier, what the hell do we know that's easier that's generally going to be higher quality at the end of the day? I mean, obviously we get lucky sometimes, but as it comes to PPC as a whole, almost never does it, will it be, at least in the situations where your competition knows about the same thing already, that easier is going to mean better. If you are going to win at PPC, as I've said many times on this channel, you got to outdo your competition. You got to know what works, which you could easily just watch my channel and see the stuff that works from a PPC pro that works on a few dozen accounts on Google and Facebook at any given time, giving you the actual strategies that work. And then you got to put the physical time and work in. If you're not going to hire an agency and steer them in the right direction, that means you have to roll up your sleeves and get your hands dirty and set these things up to give the consumer what they want, more so than what your competition is going to be able and willing to do, or just to say willing or knows to do, and how much of a difference that makes. And then get the spoils of your labor through that process. So ultimately, PMAX has been a way for Google to make it seem like it's easier to do PPC, when in reality, yes, it made it easier, but worse for most people, and particularly as you're doing lead generation campaigns. And they also did it so that they could sell you traffic that they have a hard time, of course, selling through display network ads and so forth, which if you're running a display campaign by itself, you can weed out that other traffic that nobody wants and give it to the guys running PMAX, so to say. So anyway, with all that said, I'm going to get into the nuts and bolts of why specifically on each of these individual points I mentioned, why you don't want to run PMAX for non-e-commerce or lead generation campaigns, and ultimately what is your better alternative, much better alternative to go about doing lead generation through Google Ads in your market. So with that said, moving forward, every single person, and I do mean every single person that I've talked to or seen talking about using PMAX for non-e-commerce campaigns has said it generates a shitload, and I mean a metric ton, of crappy leads that will clog up your sales process with absolute nonsense. Obviously, when you're doing lead generation, of course, you're wasting ad spend if you're not generating a lead that converts into a sale at a rate in which you could pay for the cost of the ad spend and then your overhead on top of it. But then you'll not only just lose your ad spend, you'll lose the salary of your salespeople who, if you have a decent amount of leads coming in, they got to prioritize the leads coming in. The more time they, fiddle with these crappy leads that your campaigns can and if they do generate crappy leads, sifting through all of them, chasing down bad leads, so they can't spend that time on better leads. And so you lose money two ways, which is why you want to pay particular attention as to how you're doing your lead generation campaigns. And don't just do what the average person's going to do, which is to expect to spend 15 minutes setting this stuff up and that it works, and that's it. Because if it were that easy, your competition have already have done it 5 years ago already. So with that said, why is it mainly that these PMAX campaigns are generating a ton of these shitty quality leads? When I say shitty quality, by the way, I mean bots. Bots that are from click farms that Google could eliminate but does it for some reason, that go and click on ads and go to your site and fills out the contact form, makes it look like, to make it, basically trick or otherwise convince Google that the ad click that they're going to use to get money is a real click. So ultimately, through Google AdSense program, of course, if you run a website, you could put ads on there that people can access those ads from Google Ads using the Google Display Network. Every time somebody clicks on your ad, you get half the money. The other half goes to Google. And so people will set up these phony baloney websites and using a computer script generate fake traffic to that site, clicking on the ads. And ultimately, if they can trick Google and making them think that they're real people, they can generate money from basically nothing. And not to say nothing, but it comes from your wallet. So, and like I said, they have gotten good at convincing Google, this is their entire business, is convincing Google the traffic they're generating from bots is real traffic. And then they'll actually literally go to your site, fill out the form, the bot will fill out the form on your site to make it look like to fool Google at a higher rate, so to say. So anyway, with that said, that all basically comes from the Google Display Network, because Google could pretty easily tell what's fake and what's not on google.com, on YouTube, on Gmail, on the ads that are running there. But on this Google Display Network, which is millions of websites that Google, provides the basically is the middleman between you and the person running ads on those websites. On those sites, they either, like I said, they either know that it's there and ignoring it because it's benefiting them, or they don't know it's there. Basically, that's where all the false traffic comes in, and where false traffic comes fake form fills or fake phone calls if you're tracking calls, because sometimes they'll actually have a bot that'll call the number to make the traffic look real that way. And so that all comes on the display network. So why is there false leads? Because it's display network traffic, and PMAX campaigns has display network traffic. Because as you probably know, or if you don't know, PMAX is a combination of Google search campaigns, display campaigns, discovery campaigns, YouTube campaigns, and shopping campaigns. So the one big one out of those five that gets you all these bot clicks that you're paying for and these fake leads to go along with it is from the display network. So when running display network campaigns, it is extremely hard not to have this problem of basically paying for bot clicks and getting these fake leads as a result. So in other words, one way to easily tell if your PMAX campaign's not working is as soon as you turned it on, you suddenly notice a whole bunch more spam leads coming through your contact forms. You pretty much know you're probably spending most of, if not all your money on PMAX is going to these bot clicks, if you will, because the PMAX campaigns are designed to go after traffic at a cheaper rate and gets a good conversion rate. So what happens is if you have your conversion tracking set up on your campaigns like you're supposed to, Google sends you, gives you a click on some site where a bot actually went through and then filled out your form, after clicking on the ad, Google picks this up, says, hey, that site's profitable. Let's buy more traffic from that site for this user. And then so what you have is a self-perpetuating feedback loop where one crappy lead turns into another crappy lead, turns into another crappy lead, and pretty soon all you have is crappy leads coming in now. And that's where 100% of basically, or damn near 100% of your ad spend is going to those crappy leads now. And so over time, the more traffic more money you spend, the higher percent of false traffic you're getting. And this has just been something that's been the case with Google Display Network campaigns for a decade now. Okay, or basically, we'll just say as long as they've basically been out, there's been people trying to fool Google with these bot clicks to generate, and steal from advertisers. So that's to say, there is certain occasions where you can run Google Display Network campaigns and not just get bot traffic. A lot of people say that Google Display Network ads and banner ads don't work. That's complete bullshit. People don't know what they're doing on how to generate money, actual profit after expenses and ad spend through Google Display Network and running banner ads. If you want a good tutorial on the different things you can do there, just go to my blog or read my book, How to Make Money with Display Ads. You can find it on Amazon. But the name of the game is you have to narrow down your targeting to a level where instead of targeting, 1 million people, you're targeting, 10,000 people of the core people that you should really be targeting. And so with that, and then you're basically, the potential and opportunity to get your bot clicks is less at that point, basically. So in the times we've ran display campaigns and had not gotten all these bot clicks, it's because we had tight targeting of our campaigns. And to give you an example of that, or before I go there, I should say, we had tight targeting of our campaigns, and we were doing a display network campaign by itself because PMAX does not have the targeting option a display network campaign by itself has, which makes PMAX much more inferior of a way to run display/banner ads on the Google Display Network than running a display campaign by itself. So that's why you want to run a display campaign instead of a PMAX campaign for a lead generation campaign, or a search campaign versus a PMAX campaign. Because even if you wanted to run search campaigns, if you run a PMAX campaign, it's going to make you have search and display. So you can't basically avoid the display part of your campaign. So in general, PMAX, doing that, you're forced to get these display campaigns going, which you don't have the targeting options to narrow down your targeting very well. Therefore, you're going to get the bot clicks. Therefore, your PMAX campaign's not going to work very well for lead generation. But to give you an example, just in case you're curious, and just to go on a quick side here, if you're trying to get like these display network ads, if you're doing lead generation, you want to be able to make money with that. You can, of course, run search engine ads on Google Ads or Google.com, right? Everybody knows that. You probably know that already. But you also can run ads on Display Network and YouTube, and Discovery ads on YouTube as well. And Gmail ads is also through Discovery. And you also can get a lot of results. And actually, if you can get the Display Network and Discovery ads and stuff to work itself, it scales much, much, much more than the search ads on Google. The search ads on Google are a little easier to get set up and work quicker, but the display ads have 10 to 100 times more potential than the search ads in terms of scaling, which is why you typically want to do it. And maybe you start out running search ads until you tap that out, and then you try to go after display ads, chiseling off a part of the profit on the search ads you made to try to get the display ads to work. The best way to go about doing that, by the way, is to say display ads, they're two different animals. You got to realize on display ads, when you're trying to get somebody to buy, when they're not interested in buying from you right now, it's going to be much harder, and it's going to take much more work, and it's going to take a lot more trial and error because you're not targeting people already ready to buy. That you take a part of the money that you've made in another part of your business or from your other campaigns that are working already, maybe 10% of what you're spending, goes to this new display campaign that you're setting up to try to get that working, and you are going to assume that money is just gone. You're using it as a tool to eventually figure out what works with display ads. After you've tested 15,000 things, you found the thing that works, that gives you the magic key to this whole thing, so to say. And it's worth it because you can get a lot of leads this way, because there's so many more opportunities to target somebody to buy when they're not on Google than there are on Google. So you listen to my advice on this channel or read my book or whatever about how to run display ads right. You set up that campaign, and ultimately you don't really expect it to work for at least, first 2-3 months at least, we'll say. Versus a search campaign on Google, you could expect it to kind of start working maybe the first week or first month. So it takes longer, but in that, without having to go see my other videos and stuff that tells, to understand what's the difference between the way most people do display ads that makes it, make them say it doesn't work versus the way that I do it to make that it basically will work. Not every time, but a lot of times where it will work, is again, going back to the targeting. You got to get the targeting right. Of course, you have to have a good ad with an ad that says, while I'm reading it, why are you talking to me with this ad, and why you're talking to me right now? And generally speaking, it's because I actually am in market for a punching bag, and now I see an ad for a punching bag. So it's why me? Well, I'm in market for a punching bag. Why now? We're offering a 10% off holiday special on Christmas punching bags for the Christmas season. So I have a reason to act on this ad right now because there's a limited time offer on punching bags. I should click on this ad right now. That's the type of thing you have to do with the ad. But more importantly, and the more challenging part, is the targeting. You got to get the targeting right. In the situation with the punching bag, like I mentioned, typically with that, you would want to target somebody who's in market for a punching bag. And the typical go-to for that, starting out, is of course anybody who's been to my site already. That would be the first thing. But beyond that, who's all of my competitors that sells punching bags in the general price range of what I sell them at? With that, I can create a custom intent audience and tell Google through that, every single time somebody types in Google that particular person who specializes in selling punching bags or is searching for a specific model of punching bag that directly competes with my products or my items, I want my banner ad to show up for them for the next 30 days after that point. So you could target literally every single person in market for a competitor's product in the next 30 days with my ad that offers a person a discount on a limited type basis for that or for a different punching bag. And that's the type of narrowing down of the targeting you have to get to most of the time to get things to work. Beyond that though, you look at your best, most sure customers. What customers that you have that, out of all the customers you have, that if they came to you and they came to you and said that they were inquiring and looking to buy your product, is it the highest closing rate you have? And they're the best customers you have. To give you an example, in a different market, where I brought this individual use case itself up multiple times on this channel, but we sold granite countertops to people that wanted to get granite countertops installed in their home. With that, we targeted people on Google search. Of course, beyond that, we tried to find people who are interested in granite countertops to try to get so we could scale what we're doing on Google Ads through Google Display Network. And of course, yes, we could just target people, like I said, with the punching bags. Anybody who searched for a competitor site, we could target them. In this situation, in itself, may not be the best, of course, because somebody who's been to our competitor site, or of course, just searched for a competitor in the past, we don't know quite how qualified they are. And just targeting people who searched for granite countertop installation in the recent past, it was profitable, but not so profitable. What we actually found out, we took it a step further, which you might have to do with your own campaigns to actually get them to be profitable after your expenses and everything that you have there. Whereas in this case, I asked the client, I said, what's your most sure clients that you get out of the people that inquire, what's the people who can end up buying at the highest rate possible and are the least trouble to sell to. And it was people in that market that were getting granite countertops installed in a new house that they were moving into soon. And so with Google Display Network, and the magic of Google Display Network is you could target, going back to that so-called custom intent audiences, that you can make an audience that basically where you could say, Google, person must be this and this and this and this and this, and if they're not all of these things together, don't have my banner ad show up for them. So in this case, knowing that people that are getting a granite countertop installed in a new house they're planning to move into, if we could just get in front of those exact people, we would take it all day long, which is the type of thing you wanted. In terms of the cost to get in front of those people, since they're so likely to be buying a granite countertop from us or a competitor soon, then we'll take every single click we can get. And in that, we created our custom intent audience and said, hey Google, if somebody searched for granite countertop installation companies or services or firms in the last 30 days, we want to target them, but only if they did that and they've been looking for new houses recently and they've indicated that they're moving soon. It's indicating that they're basically looking for a house, not an apartment, not something where they can't get the countertops installed. And we know they're not just randomly looking at houses, but they've also indicated that we know that they're moving soon. So we know for sure they're moving, and they're going to be moving into a house, and they're looking into granite countertops. When you combine those three things, we pretty much guaranteed that we know that person's going to be buying granite countertops from somebody. Whether it's us, whether it's somebody else in the market, we pretty much know that the person's going to buy. And at that point in time, now, instead of just targeting people looking for granite countertops, which may or may not be looking to buy, we've made it even more statistically likely that that person's going to buy. But in addition to that, here's the magic with doing something like I've mentioned. So, of course, if somebody has searched for granite countertops in the recent past, you could have an ad that says, granite countertop installation, get a 10% off voucher this month only, and you might do okay. But when you go even more precise and you say, going back to my previous example about people that are looking to get granite countertops installed in a new house they're moving into, you could say, granite countertop or new mover special, granite countertop installation 10% off for all people looking to move and install granite into a new home that they're moving into for the next 30 days. And so now, because that ad is so specific, it'll get that much more attention from the user than just saying granite countertop installation special. There's a level to this where this does get kind of creepy, but ultimately, people are desensitized to this stuff. They realize that people, the internet and ads are tracking them and everything. People don't care as much as you think. So, but anyway, in general, with that ad did extremely well. Not just because we targeted people making sure that they, we're going to get the granite countertops installed in a new house, which we know basically 100% of the time they're looking to buy, but we can also speak to that person on their individual use case level saying, if you're looking to move and you're looking to get a granite installed, we are offering a discount, but we're only offering it to people that are moving soon. So therefore, this is actually the perfect ad for you. And you'll get a much higher response rate on that ad than just saying special for everybody who wants granite countertops, because it seems less exclusive, makes people feel less special. So the combination of having super specific targeting this was actually, by the way, when we did this was for a local granite countertop installation company. So you would all, new people that are moving soon, looking at houses that have inquired recently from Google for granite countertop installers. We had our ad show up for them, but also making sure that they were only seeing that if they're within the 30-mile radius or service area in the city that we were in on top of it. So basically, of the people in our Phoenix metropolitan area that we're targeting, there's really only 1,000 people on a monthly basis maximum that fit that entire mold. So it's not a lot of people, but every person on that list, the literal penny that it costs to have our ad show up for that person one time is worth it all day long. And so, so with it taking a lot of work to get a structure like that set up, once it does and is set up, it just works and works and works after that. And so this is an example of the type of thing you actually should do with your display network campaigns to get them to actually work. How can we target the perfect buyer and with that information of knowing that they're buying for this reason and not this reason, how do we come up with an ad and an offer for that ad that targets specifically them so that when they see it, they jump on it at a high rate versus think it's just another everyday ad and just kind of ignore it and only gives them so much time to respond to it, which makes them want to respond now versus later. When you combine all those individual elements together, you've got something that could work well. And you break it down by, individual use case. If you have 5, 10 different use cases or different types of customers who buy, create a unique campaign for each type of buyer and have ads for each type of buyer. And going back to the competitor thing I was talking about before, if we're selling punching bags, if there's 20 competing punching bag products I'm competing against, you can have an ad that shows up for somebody looking at product A saying why you're better than product A. And then if they were actually looking at product B, you could have a different ad that says why you're better than product B to drive traffic to your site. That's the type of shit that works. If you're going to get down to that level with it, that's where you can make some serious money. And so everybody basically, though, where people go wrong is they just want a simple solution. They want one ad that works for everything. And unless you sell a groundbreaking technology or have a groundbreaking product or whatever, it's going to take some footwork to target the right people with the right message so that the people that when they see your message, it seems like a godsend. You want them to, when they see your ad, they say, wow, I'm glad I found this ad. And if they do that, you're going to make money. So anyway, that is just a small, quick tutorial on what the people that make money with display ads and ones that don't and how you actually do it. And so and everything I just talked about isn't basically possible, okay, respectively, or almost impossible for the most, we'll just say impossible for the most part to do through PMAX. PMAX campaigns have signals. Signals are not targeting. If you look up into the documentation, Google just says that, if we wanted to target, going back to the granite countertop installation company and example I gave you, if we wanted to target people who have been interested in looking at granite countertops recently, there's no guarantee if we add that, because you could add that same audience as a signal to our PMAX campaign, that they're going to target only that. It's a suggestion. So they will target that, but the problem is they'll target all this other shit you don't want. And in order for display campaigns to work, you got to be able to target the actual people that are going to buy, because the more people that you target that don't want to buy or don't give a shit about your message that you have out there, the more likely it is to work, and basically the less ROI you get. So the difference between targeting 1 million people with the same message and versus targeting 10,000 of the people that actually cared about that message that you had with that same message is the difference between making money and not making money, given the higher the rate in which people click through your ad, the lower the cost per click you're going to pay. And the lower the cost per click you're going to pay increases the ROI you're going to make on each click. This is how all PPC works online. The higher the click-through rate on the ad, the cheaper the cost per click, the higher the ROI is going to be. And there's a point in which your message is so targeted and so well thought through for the exact people you want to target, we're going to get on the display network 20 cents a click versus some other guy who's trying to have a bland message targeting way more people than to see it than they need to, or whatever. They're going to pay $2 a click. So that, they're literally going to pay 10 times more per click, or roughly thereof, than I'm going to pay to basically get in front of the same people that are going to buy, if you will. And that 10 times more per click is the decider in many, many different cases of whether the campaign works or not. But not only that, if you're just randomly targeting your campaign, you may actually hit the people that are going to buy, but you probably aren't. it's not that easy to figure out who's going to buy. Out of the millions and millions of people that you can target on the Google Display Network, finding the 10,000 people that will buy, that's not easy to just wing it and then, hit it basically. Because ultimately, yeah, people think, okay, well, within this million people, I know there's 10,000 people I want to buy, so I'll run this campaign. All you're going to do is you're going to end up running out of budget before you ever, reach the 10,000 people with enough saturation, if you will, to make it work, if you will. Most of the time. So, and ultimately there's more than, if in a city, like the size of Phoenix, like I was talking about before, there's 3 million people you can target, and there's probably more like, 500 that'll buy. So if you're trying to target 3 million to hit 500, it'd be so inefficient it won't work. You got to be able to get that 500, you got to be able to target the potential 5,000 to reach the 500 at the most. So anyway, PMAX is not going to let you get as granular as you need to, but like not even close to as granular as you need to be able to make display and YouTube campaigns and discovery campaigns work. Therefore, you should use standalone campaigns over PMAX campaigns for lead generation and doing lead generation for non-e-commerce type businesses. As mentioned before, for most of you guys, you want the easy route, go ahead and set up a search campaign for yourself first, get that to work. Sometimes your market's going to be so competitive, maybe it won't work for you. 90% of you guys, if you follow the instructions I give you on how to set up SKAG type search campaigns for your business and follow the way that we're doing it here at our guaranteed PPC agency, it'll work. Then, like I said before, you could take a sliver of that money that you're making already from search and reinvest it into a display campaign or a YouTube campaign depending on your market. Sometimes for certain clients we use display ads. Sometimes we use discovery. Sometimes we use YouTube. They're all pretty good. We generally like to try to use discovery campaigns and YouTube campaigns first. Why? Because it has less bot traffic. Going back to what I was talking about with the whole fake leads with PMAX thing earlier, Google polices the amount of bot traffic or weeds out the bot traffic way better on a property that they own versus on the Google Display Network on properties they don't own. Sorry, I have a itch in my nose. It won't go away here. And a lot of times a YouTube campaign will be a lot better up bat than a display campaign because you don't have to worry about bot traffic at all at that point, or virtually basically at all. The only problem is with YouTube, for most of you guys starting out, is making an effective video ad is a much harder proposition than a banner ad or a responsive display ad. A good video commercial takes a good copywriter to write the script and to make and to direct it. That most people screw it up. I'm not saying that you can't do it right, but at the very least, what I would do is I would look at my competition and the video ads that they're running and that have ran ads for a while before I ever actually ran anything. And I won't go into the details on seeing to find out how long they've been running ads, because there's certain things you can do to find out which other ads a person's running on YouTube and so forth. Reach out to me if you're curious about that through the comments if necessary, but in general, try to find out what's already working and then use that as a guideline. And if you don't know, if you've never made video commercials before and you can't find anything from your industry, contact somebody who does script writing, because you're going to probably screw it up. Sorry, it's just, I don't want to have you waste your money or time, because if you wing it, it's not going to work. It has to be very direct, precise, choppy, deliberate in terms of how that script is structured. You can also, by the way, if you want to hire somebody, you could actually watch my video. I have a video about how to make a YouTube ad script that basically will work every time for most companies, and start there, because I do also have that as well. But anyway, sometimes though, even though YouTube and you're running discovery campaigns, which gets you on YouTube and Gmail, basically, even though the bot traffic's less, we'll still do better on Google Display Network, generally speaking, because out of the people we want to target, there's not enough of them on YouTube and Gmail to count for much. And then at that point, we have to run display ads to make a substantial dent in the market, if you will. Going back to my example before about the granite countertop installation guys, or the local granite countertop installation company in Phoenix. Okay, with that, like I said, there's only a few hundred people each month looking for a granite countertop in a new house. So if we didn't run that on the general Google Display Network, we wouldn't be able to basically get very many clicks. So we stuck with the Google Display Network there. Even though running on YouTube and Discovery is also good. And with that, generally, if you have an offer and an ad, a message ad, so basically a message to put in an ad, and if that works on Google Display Network, you can usually expand it on YouTube and Discovery and vice versa. But anyway, that's, in summary, going back to the topic and title of this video, you run your just individual campaigns, whether that's search, display, YouTube, Discovery, whatever, separate. You don't try to do this through PMAX. There's zero advantage to try to do this through PMAX other than it saving time. But if you want to basically burn your money, it'd be more fun to literally light your money on fire 99.9% of the time than run a PMAX campaign thinking you're going to be clever because it's so easy and so-and-so person recommended it to you and it seemed like such a good idea. I'm telling you, it's too good to be true. You're going to end up with a bunch of leads that are going to be worthless because the targeting is not very good, and you're going to end up having to go this general other direction anyway, even though it's harder. So I know a lot of you guys are just going to be tempted to do it anyway because it's going to take 15 minutes, but it's too good to be true. You got to put the actual time and effort in to go through a process like I explained on this video to really make money running ads outside of the search engines to actually get things to work. Given there's a lot of bot traffic, that's that's a problem. But the other thing is people don't really give a shit about ads. They see ads all day long online. If your ads are going to get paid attention to, they better explain to me why I should care and why I should act right now. And if you don't do both of those things, I don't give a shit about your ad. I'm not going to, it's not going to move me enough to make, cover where the sales of which is going to cover the cost of running those ads. You need a compelling, well-targeted, well-written ad for a person who's likely to buy for it all to work. Anyway, and if you have any questions, by the way, about how to run a display campaign, also leave me a comment below. I'll be able to put you on the right track. I'll tell you a basic strategy you can use. Oh, you're selling this, I would do da-da-da-da. And you'll have to go set it up for yourself, but at least you'll have some, if you can't come up with a general idea about how to carve out a perfect audience to target through Google custom intent audiences or creating audiences through Google ads for running on Google Display or YouTube or whatever, I'll help you figure one out that'll work. And then you can go create your ad and go to town with it. But I'll wrap it up with that. Hopefully that made sense. If you liked the video, I'd appreciate it if you would give it a like and give this video a like and consider subscribing, because I have a ton of videos on this channel about other money-making strategies that's going to be able to save you money on ads like this advice on this video did, but also how to physically make money with Google ads, Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads, and so forth. As I'm running a PPC agency here where we not only have to guarantee people's results, but we manage about 3-4 dozen different PPC campaigns for a variety of different companies at any given time. And I am actually giving you the actual working strategies that are working today on this channel so that you don't have to test any of this stuff for yourself. You literally can just follow the exact stuff that's working because I give it to you raw on this channel. Unlike most other, if not all the other YouTube channels about PPC strategy, where they don't talk about strategy. They tell you about what the campaign does, and you click this button and click that button. At the end of the day, none of it helps you make money. You need to have an actual strategy from somebody who's out there doing the work. And of course, there's other people out there running an agency that doesn't get their hands dirty with the campaigns, I'm the one strategizing our clients' campaigns at our agency directly. Therefore, I know exactly what works at any given time. So if you're going to pick one channel to pay attention to make millions in doing PPC for your business, this is the channel for you. I also, by the way, have a blog I mentioned on this video at guaranteeppc.com/blog, where you can I have written step-by-step instructions on how to build PPC campaigns the way that I build them for our clients at our agency. And with that, there's more detailed advice there than you're going to find on this video and this channel, because on this channel I keep things at a fairly high level. So it's a great supplementary piece of information that you can also have if you like this channel already. Beyond that, if you have any questions, mentioned a couple times that you could ask me questions in the comment section. Any questions at all, leave me a comment. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel, usually within a couple days' time. As a final note, I want to mention that I have a brand new program here at our PPC agency where if you're looking to start a new business in another niche, or just don't like the business you have anymore, before you start at other business, contact us and ask us what campaign templates we have in the different markets that we have. We started this up, this new program up, where we offer our clients coming in that don't want a regular PPC management service the campaign templates that we use to get results in a variety of different markets already. So that would be like if you wanted to start a plumbing business up in Miami, and then basically all the leads that you generate for that business, you send them to another plumber in the area, and then you mark up the services by 10%, and then use that 10% of extra money to pay for the ad spend, and keep a little for yourself. You could literally take our plumbing campaign that we have running in Denver, which generates several $1 million a year in sales profitably, and at a good enough margin that would make the same kind of make good money for you. You could take templates that we have for that campaign in that different geographic market, use it in your local market, and get the same results for yourself in your own local market, and have a business basically that'll work almost immediately right out of the box. And we give you the campaign templates, the landing page templates, everything to get the same multi-million-dollar a year sales results at a decent margin for your local business there. We might also have a campaign that we've already put together and been optimizing for years in your exact same market already. And if so, we'll tell you what results we're getting, roughly speaking, and you can get the same results in your market. As long as there's no conflict of interest, you're in the same geographic territory, and that kind of thing. But and we also have service campaigns like that, but also product campaigns, like where company A is selling toner in one geographic market, you want to sell toner in another geographic market, i.e. in a different country. You could use the campaigns we're using to sell profitably toner profitably in one market in another country and get similar results in that other country. But anyway, reach out to us if you're interested in that type of thing. We have dozens and dozens of campaign templates like that you could start up a business tomorrow, or basically use to bypass all this learning you have to do to set up a multi-million-dollar a year winning sales and PPC campaign for your business. So I'll wrap it up with that though. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I hope to see you in my next video where we have another great PPC money-making strategy for you there. Peace out.